Over the last couple of days, we have seen Trump go to the White House and have lunch with Joe Biden. Just look at how happy Joe Biden and Jill Biden look. Now compare this to a few days before that, during Veterans Day at the White House, where Jill Biden and Kamala didn't even look each other's way. No matter how many times KJP, the White House press secretary, says that there is no hard feelings between the two groups, I don't believe her. There's just no way that Jill likes Kamala after she stole the nomination out of Joe Biden's cold, dead hands, and then lost in the most embarrassing way possible. Everyone in the mainstream media still blamed Joe Biden for supposedly not leaving the race soon enough. In reality, she would have lost anyway, because no one likes her, and Joe Biden would have lost also because Joe Biden literally died in front of everybody on the debate with Trump. Neglecting that for a second, how does Joe Biden go from Trump is an existential threat to then welcoming him to the White House, but not even just a threat, but literally Hitler, to then saying, "Hello, Hitler, welcome to the White House"? That's because it is all fake, and we all saw right through it on Election Day last week. But some people on the Democratic side are way too stubborn to notice that they themselves are the problem, and Americans don't want any part of their shenanigans. People like Nancy Pelosi have just signed the paperwork for a potential 2028 run. This is crazy because with all of the talk that the left does about how we need to get younger politicians, she is only getting older and older. She's 84 now. She's going to be 88 in 2028. And by the end of her 4-year term, if she was to win, she will be 92. But what everybody is not talking about is that the trash is quite literally taking itself out. We have so many people on the left doing us a favor by deactivating their X account, which is actually good because we don't want to see their posts anyways. People like Joy Reid have just deactivated their X account. But quite honestly, I don't really care because of the fact that she's just doing us a favor, because now we don't have to deal with her BS all over my timeline. So with that being said, let's dig in.
Facts over tracks, isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
We do have some Christmas decorations up in the studio. I know it's a little bit early. It's a little bit early for these Christmas decorations now. I wanted to wait until Thanksgiving, but Spirit Christmas just opened up for the first year. It's Spirit Halloween, but Spirit Christmas, the Christmas version of Spirit Halloween. And they have so many good things. It's not a sponsored video at all. I just really liked the spirit of Christmas, and I think that this is a really good addition to the studio. We have some really good, I was looking for a specific thing at Spirit Christmas, like a Christmas neon sign of Santa. I was looking for that. I could not find it. And at checkout, I was telling the workers, like, "Oh, do you have any more?" And I guess it sold out. This is a really good addition to the studio. I do want to put a real one up in the winter. I want to see what actually fit in this little space we have here. For the most part, this will do. I think that this is actually really nice. I know it's too early. I'm not the type of person that sets up all these Christmas decorations immediately after Halloween ends. But I also like to wait until at least the week before Thanksgiving, which is only next week anyway. So only a few days until the week before Thanksgiving anyways. With that being said, let's dig in. Beginning, we have a Daily Wire article here. We have Charlemagne the God can't wrap his brain around why Trump won and Biden invited him to a White House meeting. Popular radio host Charlemagne the God weighed in on the President Joe Biden's coronal meeting with President-elect Donald Trump at the White House on Wednesday, and he admitted to having a hard time wrapping his head around why and how this all went down. During his Thursday morning broadcast, he recalled how Biden, along with the rest of his party and a whole host of media talking heads, had been referring to Trump as a fascist or suggesting that he was the second coming of Adolf Hitler just days earlier. What he doesn't understand, he said, was how Joe Biden had pivoted so easily from calling Trump an existential threat to inviting him to the White House for a pleasant conversation, and then laughing and having a genuinely good time, which Joe Biden and Jill Biden were having. Quote, I just don't understand the White House visit, he began. Granted, I'm glad there was a peaceful transition of power, but what happened to the threat to democracy talk? What happened to the fascist talk? Quote, by the way, I know I've said those things about Trump as well, he continued, but I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about his political opponents like Joe Biden. When they say it, it holds way more weight than me. I'm just trying to figure out how to go from he's a existential threat to democracy to welcome back. Charlemagne's co-host weighed in then, noting that Biden had looked happy during the meeting and has been cheesing for the cameras. Charlemagne went on to say that he understood Biden held himself up as an advocate for certain political norms, but still didn't quite make it all make sense in his mind. By the end of the segment, he appeared to give up entirely, saying, I'm not going to stop minding white people's businesses. The popular host had branched. The popular host had the subject earlier, asking last Friday why prominent members of the Democratic Party had suddenly stopped referring to Trump as a threat to democracy. Well, before he can even say his quote, I already know the answer to this. So the reason why all of the Democrats went from saying that Trump is a threat to democracy, is if fascist dictator on day one, and blah, 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 this and that, and this and that, is because of the simple fact that they are scared of Trump prosecuting them. They do not want Trump to go and say, well, you have been lying about me for the past couple of months now. I'm going to go and prosecute you. Just like how they did political prosecutions against Trump. So what goes around comes around. If you want to do a political prosecution and open the Pandora's box that cannot be closed again, then why would you go and prosecute a president? And then now everybody's so scared because, yes, Trump can now go and say, well, because of the fact that you prosecuted me and you weren't supposed to do that, now I can prosecute all of you guys for actually breaking the laws, which he doesn't break. He didn't break any law by saying, listen, here is money to keep your mouth shut, and here is the NDA. If you sign the NDA and take the money, then it's a mutual terms and conditions here that you cannot go and open your mouth. But of course, E. Carroll went and opened her mouth again, even though he paid her to shut her mouth. And she signed the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement. So again, when you sign an NDA, you cannot open your mouth again. It's just common sense, non-disclosure agreement. You cannot disclose this thing here that we agreed upon because of the fact that this, and that. There's terms and conditions of the NDA. You signed it, you took the money, but it's not bribing people. It is bribing people, but giving people money to shut up is a thing that everybody always does. Everybody does this in the mainstream media. The rich people do this. Trump is a rich person. He does this, obviously. Actors and actresses do this. So many different people do this because of the fact that it's a mutual agreement. Now, E. Carroll came out in 2018 and tried to do the same exact thing. It held no water, and then all of a sudden in 2020, she's a star. Or I guess 2023, she's a star. So again, why did she have no water back then, but she has water now? It's all a big supposed lie because of the fact that we cannot fact check any of this. If you do not have evidence to base this claim off of, if you do not even know the year that this happened or the season that this happened, summer, winter, fall, or spring, you don't even know what season this happened, then how are we supposed to believe you that this event actually happened? Again, it went through the court case, and then it was a highly politicized court in New York that actually got Trump prosecuted. But then you look at all of the charges against Trump and why he's a quote unquote felon. The majority of the cases is him then paying off E. Carroll. But paying off somebody to keep their mouth shut is not against the law, in which case he didn't go to jail, obviously. He's not going to go to jail, and all of the charges are subsequently going to get dropped, hopefully, but it's looking like it's going to be dropped. Again, this is because of the fact that they held no water from the very beginning, and even though you maybe had a say, let's just say within the 10 years of this thing happening, you cannot go and wait 30 years or 50 years and then come out and say that this thing happened. What happened the first 10 years for you not to say anything? There's an expiry date of actually prosecuting people for the crimes that they did or did not commit. So with that being said, we have another article we have a Daily Wire article. We have Blinken says that Biden will funnel as much money as possible to Ukraine before Trump takes over. We've obligated just recently and pushed out the door another $8 billion in security assistance for Ukraine. Okay, so for a second, can the Democratic Party just take a deep breath, open their eyes for a second, and realize that Trump had just gotten on a call with Elon Musk and Zelensky, which is the president of Ukraine, and Trump himself. So all three of these people are on a call together to actually straighten all of this out. And then Trump wants to call Putin directly and talk to him about stuff. So why is it that Joe Biden thinks that, or the Democratic Party in general, think that it is okay to send another $8 billion in security assistance to Ukraine, even though Trump already said that he's going to try to help Ukraine as much as he can and then stop the war? So sending money blindly to Ukraine and saying you can just use it for whatever the heck that you want is not the ideal solution here. It is not a solution at all. You're not outlining the terms and conditions of you using this money for this and this and that at all. What you're doing here is you're just blatantly and openly just signing them a check, an open check, to use that money for whatever the heck that they want. It's not good. Moving with this article, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said that President Joe Biden and his administration are committed to sending as much funding as possible to Ukraine in the remaining weeks before President-elect Donald Trump takes office on January 20th, 2025. Blinken, speaking at NATO headquarters in Brussels, Belgium, pointed to a recent profound and incredibly dangerous development, the movement of North Korean soldiers to aid in Russia's war in Ukraine, and argued that it was the most importance to the United States to continue supporting Ukraine's efforts to repel the Russian troops. Blinken noted that NATO as a whole needed to deliver a firm response before pivoting to tout the United States' role in that response. As we're working to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to effectively defend itself, this is his words, not mine, quote, the United States continues to step up. We've obligated just recently and pushed out the door another $8 billion in security assistance for Ukraine. That was in September. Another $500 million just a few weeks ago. Oh my goodness. Why so much money for Ukraine? This is exactly what pisses us, the people, off, is when you send blatantly billions and billions of dollars here and billions of dollars here. $500 million just a few weeks ago after sending them $8 billion in September. So now you're sending them $8.5 billion within the last 3 months. Absurd. This is absurd. This is an absurdity on top of an absurdity. This is exactly why we need Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to actually go through this and say, listen, we don't need to do this. We do need to do this. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this, and cross these things out, because there's so many things that we are funding that is not doing anything. For the last 4 years almost, we have sent Ukraine so much money. So in the last few years alone, how much money did the United States send Ukraine? And how much did this actually make a difference? Since the war, so this is according to CFR.org, since the war began, the United States Congress has voted through 5 bills that have provided Ukraine with ongoing aid, doing so most recently in April of 2024, but of course, this is not updated. We just did $8 billion more in September. The total budget authority under these bills, the headline figure often cited by the news media, is $175 billion, which is just absolutely insane. The historic sums are helping a broad set of Ukrainian people, yada, 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 yada. So we can see that okay, this is just absurd. You can see that in April of 2022, we sent them $13.6 billion. In May, it was somewhere around May, we sent them $40.9 billion. In October of 2022, we sent them $12.3 billion. January of 2023, we sent them $47.4 billion. Then January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January of 2024, nothing. February, March, April, we sent them $61.3 billion. And then April, May, June, July, August, no money. And then September, another $8 billion. And then October, another $500 million. So, of course, in total, $175 billion. We've sent them to updated now. $183 billion, $500 million. That is just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, and out of this $175 billion, according to this article, this is not a full updated total, $2.8 billion was sent for humanitarian support, $33.3 billion, which was for budget support. So that's supporting Ukrainians, I guess, or Ukrainians' budget, which we don't even have our budget situated in America. So why are we helping another country budget themselves? All that we should have sent them was $69.8 billion, which was for weapons, equipment, and other military support. So if we are supporting Ukraine weapons in defending their homeland, we should only have sent them 69 only, but we should have sent them around that $69 billion. Not more than that, at that $35 billion that was sent for humanitarian support and budget support. We don't need to do that. They can support themselves through humanitarian aid if we're supporting their weapons. That'll be the give and the get. Okay, you give a little to get a little. Okay, you give a little of your own money for humanitarian support because those are your own citizens, and then we will support you monetarily for the weapons and the equipment and other military support. That should have been the give and the get. But the thing is, Joe Biden has no negotiation power because he just lets it go. He just goes, oh, you want the money? Here you go. You want the money? Here you go. We need an actual plan. Okay, how will we have the off-ramp of Ukraine and Russia? Russia needs to say, listen, here's the lines that we have implemented for the past couple of years. We've only been moving an inch this way, an inch this way. We saw on Thanksgiving and Christmas people dying just for inches of land. This is not going to go anywhere. Here's the lines that you have drawn. Here's the lines that will stay. Here's Ukraine. Here's Russia. Yes, Russia expanded over Joe Biden's term. That is what it is. There's no way of stopping him. There's no way of saying, okay, well, give back this land. It doesn't matter. What the lines are right now is what the lines are right now. You cannot fight for inches of land. It's not right to fight and lose people over inches of land. Just call it quits. Here's the off-ramp. Vladimir Putin, if you want this land, this is exactly what you have fought for. This is exactly what you get. Do not expand anymore. Ukraine is part of a peace treaty agreement that if you do invade their lands, then we will attack you, Russia, because you need to be hostile. Peace through strength. Not part of NATO, but through a treaty agreement that these are the lines, you cannot cross those lines. That's exactly what's going to happen with Ukraine. Get out of there, stop providing them aid, and let Ukraine flourish on their own. Now, you need to go over to Israel and in Hamas in Gaza and say, listen, these are the lines you cannot cross. Hamas, you have learned your lesson from Israel. Israel, you have taught a lesson to Hamas and Gaza, and they will not be treating you like that again. Obviously, Israel is part of NATO. Turkey, I don't know why you want to open your mouth all the time for stupid reasons. If you do not want to get along with Israel, which is part of NATO, you're part of NATO. Everyone in NATO needs to get along. If you do not want to get along in NATO, then you will be kicked out of NATO. Peace through strength, okay? And this will make sure that Turkey will get along with Israel, Israel will get along with Turkey, and all of the other people within Israel will get along with each other. Okay? If you do not want to get along with each other as a country, then you are not part of the same exact team in NATO. Okay? That is what it is. That's the foreign agreement. Now, go to Japan, which we get all of our microchips for, and we heavily rely on Japan and them flourishing for us to flourish here in America. As for right now, before we build any other microchip factories in America, which there is not a lot of, and maybe we're building one or two, it's nowhere near what Japan actually does abroad. So we need to make sure that Japan has the power to actually defend their sovereignty, because if they don't, then China will steal all of our natural intelligence because we gave that to Japan to actually produce us chips, microchips for cars, for weapons, for everything, okay? So now we need to make sure that we have vessels over there in Japan, and we need to make sure that China knows not to mess with Japan, because if they mess with Japan, they will mess with America, okay? That is what it is. Peace through strength. You do not need to bomb anybody. You just need to threaten people. Just like what Trump did in his first term. He called Putin and he said, listen, if you invade, then I will bomb you. And Putin said, no, you won't. And he's like, hey, if there's a 5% chance of me hitting this red button and blowing up your whole entire country, will you do it? And Putin said, no. Okay, that's what it is. It is what it is. If you threaten somebody, you don't have to actually follow through with that threat, but you have to actually mean it. And if there's a minute chance of you actually doing that situation, then somebody will believe you. And they will be calm. They won't invade other countries. They'll know not to mess with you because you'll mess with them harder, and they won't be able to wake up from that. So that's exactly what Trump's policy was in his first term, and it was the best policy we could have had. And that's what I miss. And that's what I cannot wait for in January. So with that being said, we're going to be moving into the headlines of the week. So this is the most funny thing that we have so far. This is Joy Reid becomes the latest lib to quit X following Trump's triumph. This is a Daily Wire article. For the left, MSNBC host Joy Reid has joined the leftist exodus from the social media platform X following Trump's victory last week. Bye, you won't be missed. This is not an airport. You do not need to announce your departure. We do not care at all. Far left, MSNBC host, she left the X profile for her MSNBC show. The Reid out still appears to be active, but her personal account has been deactivated. Reid explained her reasons for leaving the platform in a video. Quote, today I did something that I've been meaning to do for a while, she said in a clip posted to TikTok. The reason for doing it is kissing goodbye to my 1.9 million followers is because I haven't been posting for so long. I don't want to be contributing content once it was purchased by its present owner. The host said that she was fed up by the negativity on X. Okay, so you do not want to face the criticism from people that don't agree with you. You just want to go into an echo chamber and have people that do agree with you. Okay? That's not what it means to be a social media personality and a talk show host. You need to face people that don't agree with you because of the fact that people don't agree with you. People don't agree with me, and I still post. I still post because of the fact that I want to see people's opinions, but also because of the fact that I like the discussion around stuff. Of course, you just can't take the heat. Every so often, I would use it to look at the news that was trending and what's happening, and I would use it as a aggregator because I just realized it's not really worth it, she said. Because in order to do news aggregation and just look at all you have to wade through, a lot of just abuse and lots of negativity, and it's not worth it. Many other leftists have also left X in the recent days. The United Kingdom-based news outlet The Guardian announced this week that it will no longer post on X from its official accounts. Citing disturbing content, NPR also stopped using X after the platform added a state-affiliated media tag to NPR's profile because of the fact that it is. The Guardian does not want to see the ratios that it keeps getting. So The Guardian would post something, and then in the comment section, somebody will post something, and that comment will get more likes than The Guardian post. The Guardian did not want to deal with that anymore. And then NPR, which is publicly funded, by the way, just like PBS, Public Broadcasting Service, NPR is similarly publicly funded. So of course, it's state-affiliated media, and NPR has had that placed on their profile because it's true, and NPR did not like that. Former CNN host Don Lemon said that it was leaving the social media platform, claiming it's no longer a place for honest debate following Trump's big win. Okay, because of the fact that Don Lemon does not want to see everybody disagree with him. Now, we all know that Don Lemon is not a good talk show host because of the fact that he was fired from his position at CNN. Again, now he was fired from his position at X for not being a figure that wants to look at both sides, just a left-leaning person in general. Don Lemon, of course, Don Lemonhead is a left-leaning political person because of the fact that he only looks at one side. He doesn't want to look at both sides, like he said that he was gonna. I once believed that it was a place for honest debate and discussing transparency and free speech, but now I feel like it does not serve that purpose, Don Lemon said on Wednesday. It does serve that purpose, you just don't want to deal with it. Actress Jamie Lee Curtis also left X this week, but didn't state a specific reason. God grant me the certainty to accept the things I cannot change. She wrote on Instagram, courage to change the things that I can and the wisdom to know the difference. Meanwhile, British actor Ricky Gervais posted an announcement to his own stating, I am not leaving here, by the way. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads now, but I will always be a Twitter guy, never calling it X. Cheers. Okay, so good luck at Blue Sky because of the fact that Blue Sky is this new, like, Twitter type that it operates the same exact way as Threads. Threads has been failed since day one because of the fact that there's nobody on Threads. Everybody went on Threads the first couple of days, first couple of weeks, and said, "Oh, this is really good," because of the fact that Instagram was pushing Threads so hard. You see Threads on your Instagram feed because Instagram was trying to get the users from Instagram to go over to Threads. I never did that. I never made a Threads account. Once you connect your Threads account to Instagram, you cannot unconnect it. So I just didn't want to deal with that. Just like how YouTube forced people to go into Google Plus or whatever it was, and connect their YouTube account to actually just comment something on YouTube, and then that ultimately failed. So Threads will ultimately fail. That's my hindsight. And then Blue Sky will also fail too, because to come up with a social media app, you need to have people from both sides go on there and then actually enjoy it. I don't really see anybody actually enjoying Blue Sky, but I may just check it out just for now. Of course, this person said that they're always going to be a Twitter guy and they're never going to call it X. So goodbye, I guess. Nobody really cares. When you leave X or Twitter, it doesn't really matter. Nobody cares at all. Okay, nobody cares that you don't like the vicinity, you don't like the atmosphere. It doesn't matter. Okay, at all. Nobody cares at all. You will not be missed. You will not have any influential power at all. Good luck on your Blue Sky in your Threads. Nobody's gonna see your tweets. The X is the #1 app for news. X is the #1 app for social media, and they don't censor anybody. So good luck on Threads. Good luck posting and getting people to actually care about what you have to say on these other apps. I wish you the best. So with that being said, we're going to do it for this episode of the Demetrius Joe Show. If you do like this episode and you do want to see more, I do post new episodes of the show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. Bye.